Hi, so this is our third poster presentation. I'd like to introduce Corrine Lowen. Corrine's work is a product of her master's degree, and it's focusing on collaborative policy making in Aboriginal education, as you can see from the poster in the background. So Corrine, welcome, and I just wanted you to describe to us a little bit about your research and how it fits in with your life and all of the things that you're doing.
Sure, absolutely. I came to education a little bit late in life, and when I was doing my undergraduate degree, I noticed that most of the Aboriginal students in any of my classes were the same age that I was, and very few of them were young. And so I started noticing that and getting to know some of those students and hearing stories about why they had that gap in their education. And often it was because they had not been encouraged in school, and sometimes they've been quite actively discouraged and told that they wouldn't, there was a sense that Aboriginal students did not have what it took to go on to post-secondary education. And here was proof that that wasn't the case at all. And so I started looking into these issues, and my first research was into what constituted the obstacles for Aboriginal students to post-secondary education. And along the way of that research, I uncovered a very promising policy initiative in British Columbia called the Aboriginal Education Enhancement Agreements. And these agreements are mandated to include all Aboriginal communities in a school district to work with the school district and the Ministry of Education to establish goals and plans to implement those goals to improve success for Aboriginal students in public schools in BC. And it was suggested to me by Dr. Lorna Williams that it would be a very good idea to document this process, not just of the benchmarking or the outcomes of the agreements, but the actual process of relationship building between Aboriginal and non-Aboriginal communities as they develop these agreements. So I looked at all of the enhancement agreements in British Columbia from 1999 to about 2007 and looked for evidence of growing relationships between communities in the texts of those agreements. I interviewed people in the ministry, in school districts, parents, teachers, and I also participated in the development of an enhancement agreement of one school district. And there I was included in their process. I was called to be a witness at one of the ceremonies, so it was quite a transformative experience for me, and I saw it was a transformative experience for everyone who was involved, whether they were Aboriginal or non-Aboriginal.
At the end of the day, it doesn't make sense to isolate education from the community, as we have tended to do in the past.
It's a colonial perspective to isolate education from the community,
Right.
and I think this is one of the really important things that's happening in the relationship building here, is that we're learning that education is not isolated from communities in traditional Indigenous education systems. Right. In traditional systems, education really starts in the womb pretty much. The elders sing to babies before they're born. When the babies are born, the elders particularly start to watch for qualities in that child and to provide them with stories and experiences and a name that will balance those qualities and support them. So they start their learning from a very, very early age, and the whole community is responsible for those learning experiences. Yeah.
Well, and it also draws on a vast variety of important resources in the communities that the traditional schools don't draw upon. Elders and senior citizens with years of experience in education, and brings them back into the education process in the community.
It does.
Yeah.
And it was every meeting that the community had, the community I did participant observation in, every single meeting started with the local protocols. So there was a song with drumming and a prayer, and from the same elder at each meeting, words of welcome. And those words of welcome always acknowledged people's time for being there, the contributions they were making, and the importance of the work that we're doing together for the children. And that was held up at every stage of the way. We're doing this for the children, which is a different perspective than we need to increase graduation rates, literacy scores, FSA scores. It's a very different approach.
Yeah. It's a holistic approach.
Absolutely, yes.
Corinne, thank you very much for this. This is a delightful presentation. I'm delighted you're here.
Thank you very much, Bernard.